this is Chris the Nightmare Real, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So this non-heavyweight fight, man, is so intriguing to me, and it's one of the most anticipated fights of the year. I hear people saying it's to declare who is pound for pound the best. You know, I have a different opinion, especially I'm very biased towards the heavyweights, which we all know. So I have a different opinion on that. But with that said, though, both of these guys are pound for pound level fighters, and they're some of the top fighters of the sport. I can't argue that. Now, with this press conference situation, seen some interviews, Kathy Duva speaking about this. Still haven't heard anything from Andre Ward's side. I've heard everything, okay? So in the comment section, you don't need to leave anything as far as saying that, you know, Kathy Duva said that she received a message from them days ago that they wasn't going to show up. I heard everything there is to hear about this presser that happened last night. And I understand the reasons why people wanted Ward there. I also understand why people are saying, why would Ward show up to a press conference, you know, 2-3 days after his fight with Alexander Brand, although it wasn't a hard fight. You know, he wants to spend time with his family, so on and so forth. Then I heard people say, well, hey, man, it's your first pay-per-view. Why aren't you there? I've heard all sides of the spectrum. And another thing with that, and I left this in somebody's comment section, I don't know how common or uncommon it is to have an announcement of your next fight days after. But what I will say, and this just happened recently, and this is why I brought it up, Joseph Parker had the toughest fight of his career, especially, you know, on paper, at least, against Carlos Takam, May 21st. It was for to be the IBF #1 contender. It was an eliminator fight. 2 days after that, on May 23rd, he was in another press conference announcing his fight with Solomon Haumano. So I just threw that out there. He didn't have to travel, but he did do a press conference 2 days after. So I just wanted to put that out there. All right, now, with all that said, my thing is with this fight, and no matter how many of these videos I make, people are still going to have excuses, but with this fight, man, and this is getting a lot of interest, and I can see I can just see what's going down with this fight, man. But with this fight, though, dude, if Ward goes in there, moves on his feet, uses his jab, circles, attack when he needs to attack, so on and so forth, can I please not hear that he ran? Because, and I'm going to get to both guys. So I'm going to get to what I don't want to hear if Ward wins, and I'm going to get to what I don't want to hear if Kovalev wins, which I know I'm going to hear it anyways, but it's just something that just bothers me about boxing fans. We know Ward's style prior to the fight, right? Like, we know Ward isn't a stand still, let's air it out in the middle of the ring guy. Like, we know that, right? We know that, right? So if he goes in there and wins by what you guys call boring, whose fault is it going to be? Is it going to be Ward's fault, or is it going to be Kovalev's fault? If Kovalev goes in there and knocks Ward out, I'm not trying to watch videos of, see, look at his glove right here. See, you see that bulge right there in his glove? I'm not trying to hear that. We know Kovalev's objective is to go in there and try to get you out of there. And it seems as if whatever he hits, if he doesn't knock it out, he at least knocks it down. Because then, to me, you're telling me that Virgil Hunter is incompetent. You're telling me that he didn't do his due diligence as far as checking the hand wraps and the gloves of their opponent. And I'm sure he's going to be the one that goes into Kovalev's locker room on fight night and check his wraps. I trust Virgil Hunter's eyes when it comes to that. I don't know the man, but just hearing him speak and watching him train and things he says in the corner and the things he say on air when he's doing fights, when he's commentating fights, I trust his set of eyes. I trust his set of eyes more than I'm going to trust anybody. If Kovalev wins this fight by knockout, I'm going to trust his set of eyes more than some guy on YouTube. But I know these videos are going to happen regardless. I know, I mean, this is how this YouTube thing works. Now, anything is possible now. Hunter can go in there and everything was cool. You know, I mean, yeah, we can start the conspiracy theories, but I'm going to trust his set of eyes on fight night because I can feel it, man. If Ward get knocked out, we're going to be talking about his glove, Kovalev's gloves or some shit, or something, man, or, you know, something in the corner. Somebody's going to say, you know, or I don't want to hear that Ward was out of his prime, or if this was the Super Six. You know, I'm not trying to hear that. Just like I'm not trying to hear Ward was boring if he wins a 12-round decision and he nullifies Kovalev's offense and he breaks him down and beats him on points. I'm not trying to hear how boring it was. I'm not trying to hear how he ran. We know his style. You know that going in. It's Kovalev's responsibility to cut off the ring and do whatever he needs to do to land his punches. Ward's not going to sit there and let him hit him, all right? So let's get that established right now in August. You know, I'm not trying to lecture nobody or, you know, tell people what they can and what, you know, type of videos they can and cannot make. But just fights like these, when there's a lot of, you know, and I can just see the tension, man. I can just see it in the comment section. I can see it from the videos people are making. There is a lot of tension with this fight. If you want to say it's race, if you want to say it's America versus, you know, somebody from the Eastern Bloc, if you want to, whatever, however you want to slice or dice it, I can feel the tension, man. And to be honest with you, I like both fighters, and I don't really have a attachment to either fighter to that point. I really haven't had a really attachment to a fighter where I want to see him win no matter what. I don't give a fuck who was against, what stage he was in his career at the time he was fighting, since like my Mike Tyson days. I seen one of Blood Boxing's videos earlier today. Shout out to him. He was comparing the racial part of it to, you know, he says it reminds him of Cooney and Holmes. And it's funny he says Cooney Holmes because when I show you guys my I've showed it before, my VHS collection of my tapes, my old VHS tapes. Cooney and Holmes is one of the fights I have on the same tape as was it Cooney Holmes, Ali Foreman, and then the first Ali Frazier fight. I have a lot of VHS tapes with 3 fights on them, and that's one of the fights that I started watching. Although I didn't catch that fight live. I think when they fought that fight, I was either like 1 or 2 years old when that fight went on. I forget what year that fight happened. I want to say 1980. But I was able to catch that fight around 89, 88 when I started watching my father's VHS tapes. But anyways, yeah, man, I'm not looking forward to the excuses on post-fight videos. That's why I don't get into a lot of the back and forth shit, because I just understand people are fans of fighters, man. I mean, you got some guys that are so much fans of fighters, well, you know, you got guys on YouTube that are slowing down footage, guys that are freeze framing images, and, you know, I mean, it is what it is, though, man. You know, it is what it is. But I just don't want to hear that he ran, or I don't want to hear his gloves were loaded. Like, I'm not really trying to hear that. Whoever lose, just let them, you know, if they lose, they lose. And then let's hope that the winner fights Stevenson, and then we get an undisputed light heavyweight champion. But I know that's fantasy world, man. I realize sometimes that things that I want are just pure fantasy sometimes in the world of boxing. As easy as it seems you think things should go, they don't. Something that easy is, you know, is Kovalev and Ward fighting, then the winner fights Stevenson. That seems too much like a fantasy. But it is what it is, man. Just my little thoughts about Kovalev Ward. I'll probably do more of a prediction video closer to fight time. But I don't know, this non-heavyweight fight really intrigues me though, man. Let's get this video out there. I'm out.